Hello my fellow soulmates and food lovers, it's another episode of Eileen's Kitchen Stories and we're still in the Easter season. So today I'm going to show you a very typical German sweet bread that we like to eat during the Easter season. And this sweet yeast bread is called Osterzopf or Hefezopf, a braided yeast bread. It's not only very typical in Germany, but you eat it in Austria, you eat it in Switzerland. I'm going to show you one which is a refined version. So usually you just have a plain bread with a little bit of raisins in it, and then you can pop on some jam, you can pop on some butter. With this bread that I'm showing you today, there is no need for that because it has a super tasty filling with figs. You can check out the ingredients now and then I'll see you in a second. That we're going to use some fresh yeast. So we're going to start off with that to activate our yeast. And for that we need to crumble it. We're going to add a teaspoon of the sugar, 2 teaspoons of the flour, and mix it with our lukewarm water. Just a dash, about 4 tablespoons. And the yeast is already dissolving into the mixture, which is perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I take all of the flour, make a mold in the middle. I'm gonna pop in the mixture. Now it is important to cover the mixture with a little bit of flour. Okay, that's enough. And let the yeast do its magic for about 20 minutes at a warm place. In the meantime, we can prepare our dried figs. We need to be moist. We're gonna heat up our juice and the rum. The rum is actually completely optional. I just love the way that it gives a little kick to the figs. You can also use maybe some amaretto if you want to, or you can just use regular plum wine if you want to, instead of the juice. Yeah, and for the figs, as you can maybe see, these are just way too big in order to pop them into a bread. So we need to cut them into small pieces. So I'm just gonna go and slice them very, very finely so that it gets distributed evenly in the bread. Okay, now that you've chopped up all the figs, pop over the warm juice and then our poppy seeds. And then you need to let it sit for at least 20 minutes and then let's check out our yeast, whether it's already activated. What we're going to add into this now is the rest of the lukewarm milk, our vanilla sugar, our regular sugar, a pinch of salt, our butter, and then 2 of the eggs. And now grab your hooks and knead everything together. Okay, and the rest of the kneading we're going to do with our hands. So sprinkle a little bit of the flour, get our dough, and just make sure that it's well combined. It doesn't have to be heavily kneaded, but it needs to be well combined in order to rise properly. German Handarbeit. This looks perfect. Gonna go in here and now let it rest for 45 minutes again at a warm place. And cut up some of the marzipan. Gonna make it relatively small so that we have bits and pieces in the bread later on. Now guys, have a look at this dough. Has risen absolutely beautifully. So let's flour the surface again and pop it on here. And then knead it again, but just slightly, you know? And now you can actually spread it out. And now the most important part, we need to cut it into 3 long snakes, long slices, with more or less the same size. Use our fig mixture, our marzipan, and some of the almond flakes. And we're going to pop it in the middle of every stripe. The smell of it is just divine, guys. Now, some almond flakes, just a little bit. We're going to pop more later onto the bread when we bake it. And now, some marzipan. Okay, now the next important part is, it would be way too exposed. We're going to close this and turn this into a roll. Okay, So roll it together. And now comes the important part, guys. So we got to combine it on one end, and we literally going to braid this. Okay, I'm going to combine this right here again. And because this is going to be huge, I'm going to make this into a lovely snake. This little beauty needs to rest again for another 40 minutes, and then we can bake it in the oven. Guys, look at this risen dough. Oh my God, it is massive. But honestly, I mean, it has to feed quite a few people. I used the egg, and I'm just gonna pop a little bit of it on top. You usually use a brush for it, but I didn't bring one. And then we're gonna sprinkle some almonds on top in a second. This is going to be delicious, guys. Okay, and this monstrous beauty is gonna go into the oven now for about 30 to 35 minutes at 180 degrees, really depending on what kind of oven you have. Just make sure after 10 minutes to check how brown it is. And if it is already very brown, then just cover it with a little bit of baking foil. Let's get this one in. The Osterzopf is ready and it looks delicious. It's crispy and brown. You have the toasted almonds on top and you can see a little bit of the filling as well. And this is how it looks inside. Oh my God, this is so yummy. It's very hot, guys, so I hope I'm not burning myself. It's so nice. It's very soft and the filling in there is just delicious. It's gorgeous, guys. You need to try this. Maybe you've learned something about how to make a typical German bread for Easter. If you want to see more of me doing different things, different recipes, showing you different countries, then hit the subscribe button so you can see all of my following videos as well. And I would be absolutely happy to see you in the next video, guys. So until next time, bye!